What is good, everybody? What is good? It's Big Game James back in the building, and I got my girl Star Gaze. It's the Big Star Show. Had a little hiatus, but that's all right. We're here right on time where it's about to real get meaty. We had the big victory against Seattle, Philly. Now that we're in the gauntlet, so we got two back-to-back AFCs, and then we ended with them Lions, and then the Commanders. But I ain't gonna be worried about them this time.
Right.
But before we get anything else, how you doing, Miss Star? How's everything going with you?
I'm doing good, Big. Glad to be back. As Big said, yes, we did take a hiatus because we actually missed because we hadn't did a show since the Panthers. Because I was because it was Thanksgiving.
Yep.
Then after Thanksgiving, then it was the Seahawks game, and I went to that, and then the Eagles game.
Right.
And I was sick last week, so it feels good to be back. I hate to have missed 3 weeks, but we back. Back like we never left. Shout out to Rome, Cowboys fan talk, and hopefully we got some good content for y'all today.
Yeah, definitely. But before we go any further, you said you went to your first game against Seattle, and it was a crazy game. A lot of people weren't expecting that, but kind of talk about that right quick. Your first experience going to a game. I know how it was when I first went to my first ever game. How it was crazy. Talk about your experience going to your first ever Cowboys game.
Yeah, I mean, it was so much fun. Of course, going to Jerry. I had been to Jerry World before, but like long time ago. And I never went to a game. I went there when I was in high school. The band played for, I think, Jerry World is a lot of high school games and stuff like that. So, but I'd never been to a game. But I mean, the stadium's so beautiful. The energy was actually kind of low, but like Cowboy fans, they leak in, so they start leaking in. But before you know it, when you looked up, I mean, the place was packed out. There was a lot of Seahawks fans there, So, I mean, people really came out. I mean, and of course, being around Seahawks fans and stuff like that type of stuff. Hold on. Getting a call. Hold on, let me do this. My computer is tied to my phone. But anyway.
That's all good.
Okay, sorry. But yeah, so what was I saying? But yeah, I mean, that was a crazy game. Of course, the ebbs and flows of the game. I mean, looked great on offense, terrible. God, we looked terrible on defense. And it was getting to the point in the fourth quarter. And I went with my brother, and I'm like, dang, like we was getting to the point where like, I don't know if we're gonna win this game. Like it just was not looking good. I mean, the defense just touchdown. I mean, we didn't punt, but Seattle's offense didn't punt either. So, but man, to feel that energy of that last score, that last touchdown that Dak threw to Ferguson. I mean, the whole place just erupted, and it just gave us the confidence. And it's like that was like a live, like Dak Prescott MVP moment, because that's a game where your defense is not doing well. Like you had to put up 40 points literally just to win that game. But in other situations in the past, for whatever reason, it's like we wouldn't be able to overcome that. So the fact that we actually overcame that and won that game, I think that was just a huge deal, a huge boost of confidence. And then going into the Eagles game, I mean, I think once we hit Seattle, and I feel like we're going to carry the exact same, this is the last, what they call trimester, I think, the second or third trimester before the playoffs. So this is the time where your team wants to be getting hot, and we're really about to be battle tested because we face all playoff teams but Washington. So, well, I don't know. I think Washington's not mathematically eliminated yet. So, but we play. This is our gauntlet, so it's the right time to get hot.
Yeah, definitely. And I was saying the Seattle game was going to be that game that it was going to be. I just felt like it. So I knew Pete Carroll is a great coach. Yep. Seattle has some players on defense. I didn't know Geno Smith was going to do that.
Mhm.
But we needed a game like that. We needed that fight. We needed that battle. We needed that back and forth. We needed to be down. We needed to be able to fight because obviously we know we have been blowing out teams at AT&T Stadium, been blowing them out. We have been battle tested, but not in this aspect, in my opinion,
Right.
and for the
Right.
comeback victory. And then, like you said, we come right after that, and then you got the Eagles, who I felt this was going to be a blowout anyway. I felt we were going to blow the Eagles out, mainly because the way we played them at Philly. Because the way we played them at Philly, the way Dak played them, the way we really should have won that game, and we had a lot of self-inflicted wounds in that game, that just give me the confidence that when they came to Dallas, they were going to lose that game because it was just taking too much energy coming back in games, coming back in games, coming back in games. Every time you have to come back in games, it takes more energy for you to come back than you start with the lead. And when you keep
Yeah.
coming, they had 5 straight games where they're coming back. Now you're going to come against roadblock. Now you're playing against good teams, and you're going to get smacked going to those teams because you can't keep doing that against
Yeah.
the good teams. So we love seeing that luck run out of them. And
Yep.
it was great that we not just beat them, we beat them down. I
Mhm.
definitely feel like we're going to see them again in this playoffs, and I definitely welcome it because I definitely feel like we're the better team. But
Yep.
let's
Sure.
jump right into this Buffalo thing. We already feeling good because I said this was the wonky game. I said this was going to be another wonky game. Might be a Seattle type game where it's battle tested. I feel like Buffalo is going to be ultra hyped. They're going to be super geek. They really get up for Dallas. I mean, Buffalo fans really get up for Dallas. I mean, like
Yeah.
they get up for us. That it's just going to be. And Buffalo plays stronger at home. The defense plays stronger at home. They just play, as a whole.
Mhm.
Now we're going to break this down. I got some stats and things, but give me your initial thoughts of Buffalo and what's your feeling before we kind of jump into matchups and our 4-star kind of breakdown keys to victory.
Right. So I went through and um kind of through the week there's been content posted of like Buffalo's film and stuff like that. So I know what they do, at that point. And then also looking at, their scores and stuff like that, how they've been able to win games, basically looking at the flow of the games, with the game summary and the box score and all of that type of stuff. And Buffalo is definitely that team that is boomer bust. And they're boomer bust because Josh Allen is boomer bust.
Mm-hmm.
They're either blowing teams out or they're losing. They only had 2 close games this year. That was, I think, 2 close wins. One was versus the Jets. No, they lost against the Jets. Sorry, the one was against the Giants. There was only 2 times this year that they scored uh
I got it right here.
under 20 points. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Jets, they only scored 16, and then versus the Giants, I think they only scored, what, 14? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So if you look at that, this team, even when in all their losses, there's been multiple turnovers. So y'all gonna see that's one of
Mm-hmm.
my team's victory. In all of
Yep.
their losses, even if Josh didn't turn the ball over twice, somebody fumbled and they lost it. Whether it was Josh fumbled or Cooks, or there was a one time a Stephon Diggs fumble. So if that team turns the ball over, you can get them. But they're also a team like they can really lock in Josh Allen. And when he locks in, he locks in. So when he's playing well and he's not turning that ball over, they're putting up like 30 plus points.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a team where I absolutely expect their best. Every team plays us hard. Every single team, does not matter their record. And the Bills are also fighting for their lives. They're currently 11th seed now in the AFC. And so they have to win out to even have a chance because, of course, all the other teams in the hunt, if they tie with those teams, they're out because all those teams beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So the Bills really are fighting for their lives. So I expect them to play lights out. So I think, the main goal or what I expect from this game is this is really going to be a test to me for our defense. We saw our defense show up last week in a big game like they haven't shown up before this season. And that's going to be something that I'm going to be looking at, because it comes to a point where I'm like, if we show up and we play what we call complementary football, which means that the offense is on, the defense is on, as well as the special teams, I don't believe the Bills at their best can hang with us. I really
Mhm.
don't. I
Mhm.
think it would be complete domination. But if our defense has struggles, which Josh Allen is a dual threat quarterback. Like I said, when he turns it on, he turns it on. If the defense is struggling and Josh is shredding them, you know what I'm saying? Then this is where you come to. It's gonna be just like another Seattle game where basically it's gonna be a shootout. The person who's wins is gonna be the last person to have the ball. Now, I do think Josh. I do think Josh's gonna turn. Somebody's gonna turn the ball over. Most likely Josh, because our pressure is just so much, and Josh Allen's passer rating drops significantly when he's under pressure. And I think
Mhm.
this is probably going to be, if you look at these teams, our D line, you can say maybe Philly, but our D line is probably the best that he's gonna face. So they're definitely gonna have a lot of pressure on him. But again, like I said, this game, how this flow of the game is gonna go is depending on what defense is gonna actually show up. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, especially with the turnovers, I believe they had 15 turnovers in their 6 losses this year, meaning they're averaging around 2.5 turnovers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Also, what I've noticed in 4 of their 6 losses, they've rushed as a team under 100 yards. So,
Mm-hmm.
and also in 4 of those 6 losses, Allen, and all those 6 losses, he's averaging around close to 40 passes a game. So
Mm-hmm.
what you want to do is definitely get them one dimensional. They're not a great running team,
Right.
but they run enough to kind of keep it good for Josh. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Yep.
this is what a situation where we need to really smother their run game, smother James Cook, Levante, whatever his damn first name is, Murray, Latavius Murray,
Latavius Murray.
smother them early and get Josh to throw the ball a lot. Don't get him scrambling. Much the way we kept um, Jalen Hurts in that pocket, we're going to
Yep.
have to do the same thing with Josh Allen, because Josh Allen's going to take off and run. He
Oh
is
yeah.
going to take. He is going to take off, and I know that's
Like
one of your keys.
yeah.
He's gonna
Josh
take off
runs
and
a
run
lot.
quick, and he's a little bit different than Jalen Hurts because he's
Yes.
bigger and he's stronger than him.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
it's going to be it's a load to kind of take that man down. So we really need to concentrate on that. So really limit that run game, really
Mhm.
make them where he's throwing the ball, because like you said, when he gets to turn the ball over, that's going to be advantageous for us. And Dallas, hey, we're one of the top teams in getting turnovers since Dan Quinn has come to the Cowboys. So
Yep.
that's what we are. So
Yep.
let's jump into a few things, because I was showing here some of the stats. They had 4 turnovers in multiple games. They had 4 turnovers, and Josh
Yeah.
Allen has been one of the leading people in that.
Mhm.
So I'm going to pull this up. It's your 4 keys
Yep.
to the game. And we'll start with this one. But let me get this question out right quick, Star. Marco Y
Mhm.
says, Bill's going to be a bigger test than the Eagles. Your thoughts? I think they are. I
Yes.
think they are,
Yes,
because it's going to be at
absolutely.
their house and it's going to be crazy.
Yes, absolutely. This will be um probably one, like, I don't know, people look at record, but
This might be one of
this,
our toughest so far.
yeah, this might probably will be one of our.
Besides going to the Eagles and the
Yeah.
Niners, the Niners.
Oh, the Niners. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So sorry, it's not the hardest, but it's up there. It's
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 up
definitely
there.
up there, and
And
it,
don't people need to throw this record out with the Bills? You feel me, Star?
yeah.
They need to throw this out. They're desperate right now, like you said. They're desperate right now. They're fighting for their playoff lives, and they're at home. They're playing against Dallas. They're going
Yeah,
to get up for us,
they
and
are.
we don't know what the weather is like. It looks like it could be okay. It could be
Mhm.
rainy. We don't play the best in rain, and we're 3-3 on the road. We're
Mhm.
spotless at home, but we're 3-3 on the
Yep,
road, only
that's true.
averaging like around 20 points a game, and a few of those losses. So we need to
Yep.
understand that and not go in there. A lot of people are just like, I don't want people crowning us like, okay, yeah, we look good, but hey, this is going to be a tough test right here. But
This is right.
let's go to
Yep.
some of your keys right now. Number one,
Mhm.
what we already talked about, keeping Josh Allen under 30 yards rushing. Give me your quick thoughts about that.
Yeah, Josh Allen. If you go through and look at the box score, like Josh Allen runs a lot. I don't, and some of that is called runs, some of that is scrambling, but he runs a lot. So if you allow him to run, he is going to run. He is going to pick up those first downs. He's going to scramble. He feeds off of it. He loves running through people, jumping over people. So if you're going to allow him to play that type of football, it can get dangerous. That's why I say you want to keep him under 30, because if he's getting over 30 plus rushing yards, that means that he's able to slip out of that pocket, even though we're trying to pressure him, and he's moving the ball on us. Like if he's rushing that much, that means he's able to move that ball up and down the field. And you'll see, I mean, he's rushed for 9. He's been their leading rusher in several games. You're talking about 90 yards. One game this year, he had 90 yards rushing. So Josh Allen runs that ball. So it's going to be a real, you want to make him one dimensional and you want him to pass the ball a lot, because the more he passes, the more he's going to make mistakes. Josh Allen is a quarterback where he needs to be limited in his pass attempts, because there's like a certain threshold that he can handle to where he can protect that ball. But if you have him passing so much, he is going to make mistakes. He is one of those quarterbacks. He is going to
blitz him too. Put some pressure on him.
Yeah, you have to. This is a guy you want to pressure, because, like I said, if you pressure him, his passer rating goes down significantly. He's not a good quarterback under pressure, by any means. He's a dual threat quarterback that if you give him those running lanes, he will take it. He will find some guys downfield. He's best on the run. And, he's a guy that he can also, if you give him all the time in the world in the pocket, he can also dice you up. So that's why you can do a similar game plan to what you did versus the Eagles, but you can't do exactly, because Josh Allen has the arm. And like I said, he can make those decisions. If he's unpressured, he can read the field, he can scan the field, he can make those throws, he can hurt you. So, he's definitely a guy that you want to keep one dimensional, and keep the pressure up.
Yeah, I totally agree. You got to put the pressure on him. Much the way, if you looked at the way we were attacking Jalen Hurts, I loved it where they were going cover zero at the last second, sending that all-out blitz, where he kind of just was running away from it, kind of just throwing it out. I think that's where they got to have those calculated blitzes with Josh Allen as well. Send that total heat at him at one time and just say, hey, make a play, Josh. You know what I'm saying? We're coming with everything, because I love the way they did that with Jalen. It really, to me, I don't care what anybody says. That was one of the first games. It looked like Jalen Hurts was rattled. It looked like he was rattled. Yeah, he was, he usually cool and calm and collected, but he looked rattled in that game. That pressure was coming from all fronts, and I love the way. I mean, it was coming from all fronts, and I hope Quinn does that same type of deal and does not let Josh Allen get comfortable at any time. I think that's the biggest thing to me, Star. Don't let Josh Allen get comfortable where he starts slinging it, feeling good about himself, and he's really start to whip that ball. You know what I mean? Because he gets real kind of cocky with his arm and feel like he can make any kind of throw because he can. But I don't care what anybody says. He was not the most accurate in college. He still has accuracy issues in the pros. And if you put that pressure on him, he will make those mistakes and make some bad throws. So let's go to another one. We already kind of hit on it, but we can definitely talk about it again. It's forced 2 turnovers. We talked about 15 turnovers in 6 games, averaging 2.5. Now, you said 4 plus 2, forced 2. They're averaging 2.5 in their losses, but kind of give us a synopsis about that as well.
Yeah, and all of their losses, they've had at least 2 turnovers, at least. Whether that's Josh throwing multiple interceptions, or that's Josh throwing an interception and a fumble, or that's Josh throwing an interception and one of the other players on offense is fumbling the ball. So this is a team that they can play sloppy. But I feel like this is a game where you have to emphasize, just like we did versus the Eagles, taking the ball away, because they're going to be locked in and they're not just going to be loosey-goosey with the ball. You know what I'm saying? So this is something where you're going to have to go after them and punch the ball out. You're going to have to go after them and rip the ball out, just like we did versus the Eagles. Because this is a game where if you can get them making turnovers, I mean, that's the game right there. If you get them out of their element, and we all know Josh is not a clutch, I'm gonna come back quarterback. He's not that. He's like and something in overtime and in fourth quarter. Like Josh Allen is not a comeback quarterback. He's just now. He can capitalize off of mistakes from opposing offenses and stuff like that. Like I said, we don't keep him pressure up. He can dice you. If you open up those running lanes, he can run all over you. But he's not a guy that where you're like, oh, he's clutch. If he has the ball the last second, he's gonna win the game. That's definitely not Josh Allen. So you definitely want to get those turnovers and pretty much put them in the position where they're playing catch up. They're trying to catch up all game. That's what you really want.
Right. All right. And I feel what you're saying with that. Like I said, put them in a position. I think the biggest thing you said was have them in catch up. Dallas is so much better when we come out the gate and put that pressure on you, score a touchdown on you early, put that pressure on your offense and get you out of that. Because as I said before, I want them to get out of their running game early, move away from that run game early, and make it to where Josh Allen's just tossing it everywhere. Get him to where he's throwing 40 to 45 times, 50 times in the game. That's what we want, because when you're throwing that many times and you're not the most accurate guy, you are going to make bad throws. And because you trust your arm so much, you're still going to try to make some bad throws. This is the game. Let's keep it real. This is the game where DaRon Bland can get him another one.
Oh, yeah.
DaRon Bland can. This is definitely a game where DaRon Bland can get him another one. Maybe not for some points, but he could definitely get him another one lurking and with Josh Allen trying to force things. So as I said before, smother Cooks, smother Murray, get them out of that run game early, because like I said, when they can't run and they have to throw all the time, it behooves Dallas Cowboys even better. And to your point, when we're going to the third one, scoring 21 plus points. As I said before, Dallas ended their losses is only averaging around 20. I think we need to be around that 24 point, maybe even 28 point game, because I just feel like I know our defense can shut this team down, right? But I just feel like this might be that Seattle type game, just in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that you definitely. I don't expect this to be like the Seahawks. Now the game will be. I think the game could be closer, right? But I don't expect the defense to do what they did versus the Seahawks, because I think the Seahawks was an issue mostly because of the matchup issues. You had 3 elite perimeter players. On the Bills side of the ball, when you look at their perimeter, when you look at the players that Josh Allen really targets, he targets Dalton Kincaid, he targets James Cook, he targets Khalil Shakir a lot, which is their rookie or like second year player. I don't know what's going on in that locker room, but Stephon Diggs is tuned out. You can tell like that same anger. And I see a lot of people talking about, Trayvon, if Stephon, if something happens, he'll start screaming on the sideline and stuff. I don't see that. And I've watched their games. I don't see that from Stephon Diggs anymore. Like Stephon, when they're losing now, he used to be screaming at Josh and angry. Now they're losing. He's laughing. He's making jokes on the sideline. Like and if you see it, Josh Allen doesn't really target Diggs unless he has to. And even when Diggs is scoring touchdowns, they don't celebrate together. So unless something happens where they say we're going to switch it up and we're just going to make Stephon Diggs the focus, I don't really think Stephon Diggs is something that you got to worry about too much, just because they're not targeting him anymore as a number one wide receiver. Now, and those other weapons, as I said, they're good, like the Gabe Davises and stuff, they're good, but these aren't on the same, that receiving core is not on the same tier as the Seahawks. So I don't expect them to have the exact issues, but the Bills, even with the turnovers, they put up at least 14 points. And that's what turned the ball over multiple times. Like, so this is a team, that's why I said, like, this is a team that regardless of how terrible they're playing, they're going to put up points. So you really have to put up points if you want to win against them comfortably. So 21 points is to me is the minimum in this game. This is a team that even if you are blowing it, you want to keep your foot on the gas. If you can put 50 points up, then do that by all means. You want to get as much points as possible against this team.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna say I definitely agree with you because if you look at Kincaid, Dawson Knox, I think they're only averaging like 9 yards a pass play. Shakur, he can get out deep. So you got to watch him. Gabe Davis, obviously those guys. But I'm gonna just say this, Star. I totally agree with everything you said about with Diggs and Josh Allen. This might be a game where they just try to flip the script on us and really go hard with
That's
Diggs.
possible.
You
That's
know what
possible.
I'm saying? And just really say, okay, well, we're just gonna really just go after them with Diggs this
Mm-hmm.
game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want people to be thinking, oh, Diggs, he ain't. This might be the game where they're saying, okay, you know what, you're gonna get a lot of catches this game. So,
Yep, that's
so
true.
just keep your eye on them. Please
Mhm.
don't sleep on Diggs. I definitely feel you, but this could be one of them sneaky
Yeah,
games for him.
he's a person. He's gonna if they target him, he's a problem. Period.
Right,
If
right,
they target him,
you're
he's a
right,
problem.
right,
The
and
issue is they're not targeting him, so
right.
they could, like I said, they could switch it up and make him a target. And if so, that's where you would want. I think you probably would want to put Gilly on him. The way Gilly is turning up now, I think that's the matchup, and you want to let Bland handle Davis and stuff like that because Diggs is a wide receiver that, again, when he's on, he's on. He can turn up. He's a great route runner, a very nuanced route runner and stuff like that. So you definitely want a veteran, a savvy veteran on him. In order to limit, because if not, I mean, if you allow Diggs to go off, he can go off. He can take over games. He is that caliber of wide receiver. It's just depending on if they choose to target him or not, and who we have covering him. Which I think we have the personnel to cover him, but that goes on Dan Quinn to see how that works out. But
All right, now I want to get your kind of thoughts on when we're on offense and they're on defense because defensively, as I said before, at home they're only giving up, I believe, 14 points a game. Defense is so much better at home.
yeah,
I think they're second or third. They're in the top 5 in sacks. I think they got like 30 something sacks. 30 to 40 sacks. So they're up there in sacks. Floyd came over. Leonard Floyd came over. I think he has 9.5. Ed Oliver has 6.5. They have some guys. What do you think we need to do offensively to attack their defense? To really put some pressure on them. We're a pass first team.
right,
But when we saw this last game against the Philadelphia Eagles, you saw a good dose of the run game, especially
right,
with Rico Dowdell. He had like 15 carries, Pollard had 12. Do you think
right.
this is going to be that type of game in
Mhm.
Buffalo? How do you feel about that?
Right. I agree with you 100%. I think, watching the Bills, this is a primary, they run cover two like sixth most in the league. So this is a team that's built off of we are going to stop the deep pass. So they will sit in that too high shell and they will allow you, they're not good in run defense, but they're great in pass defense. Just like they were in 2019. They were like super low in run defense, but they were like top 5 in pass defense. So
Mm-hmm.
this is definitely a pass defense. So this is a game that it's probably going to be where you're going to have to dissect. They make you dissect them, just like the Jets, just like the Panthers that we played. They're going to make you throw the ball underneath, right? They're going to leave that underneath open. So this will be a game for the running backs running and out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
This will be a game for Jake Ferguson as well, because what's the soft spot in the cover two? The seam ball, right? So this is going to be a game where I feel like for your running backs, your tight ends to really shine. Like I don't expect, and CD Lamb too, because we can also throw CD Lamb in that
Yeah,
slot, right?
they're gonna work that slot with CD.
Right, we're gonna throw CD Lamb in that slot, and he can go. But we put Cooks in the slot too,
Right,
so
right.
you know,
Tolbert,
honestly,
Tolbert can run in there as
over too.
well.
I mean, all of our guys. So honestly, because in this game, I want to get on these guys quick.
Yeah, we're
So
gonna
I
have to.
would like to, I would like to get on these guys quick. Try to do some. I think the game plan is similar to how we did the Jets, how we did the Carolina Panthers should be exactly the type of thing we do. But of course, we've added some nuances and stuff, and we've layered our offense. So it'll be interesting. But like the end rounds with Turpin and Cooks, like those are good. CD Lamb out of the backfield. I feel like this is a game, the screen game. Like this is a game where we can really get, you know, let's get creative. They're not gonna just line up and let you just do deep ball, deep ball, deep ball. So you're gonna have to take your shots when they're there. That's how I feel.
You must have been reading my mind because you know what I was thinking right when you were talking. My guy, Cavante Turpin. Shout out to the little guys out there, man.
Mhm.
But I was thinking, I'm not saying this is going to be a Cavante Turpin game, but he can really, I feel like, use him in this game. He can really kind of be our X factor in this game.
Yep.
Use him in the passing game, just like you said. They end around the way they did it in the Eagles game.
Right.
Get him on a screen pass. I like to see Cavante Turpin really turn up because I think he can be an X factor. Just like you said, they don't want you to hit you deep, but he has the speed. If you hit him underneath, that he can really loosen up that secondary.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because he has that quick twitch speed, and he can get up on you quick. That can loosen up that defense, and then you can let your other guys really work. I definitely feel you with Jake Ferguson. I definitely feel like Fergie, Lamb. We could throw on these guys. I'm worried about the weather. I hope it's not one of them rainy games because I know Dak's not the greatest in rain.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping it's not a rainy type game. But like you said, screen game with Rico Dowdell, Tony Pollard. I actually like Rico Dowdell better than Tony Pollard in the screen game. It's kind of like once he gets it, he goes and he's downhill.
Yeah, he's downhill.
He's downhill when he gets that ball. And he's sneaky too with them little loosey goosey moves, dog.
Yeah, Rico is a pro. He's definitely most of our touchdown screens. I don't think Tony's had a touchdown from a screen yet. I think he's had some big gains from screens, but he hasn't had touchdowns. Rico Dowdle, he gets touchdowns usually when we throw him the screen. So
yeah, he makes it happen. So I think they need to continue to work him in that screen game, run that ball, kind of soften up that middle, get some Cavante Turpin in there, and then kind of let's try to hit him sneaky, maybe deep or anything like that.
Right.
But definitely Jake Ferguson work those underneath, and this could be that guy. So we got a little holler from my guy, Young Wilson, with the 499 holler. Big game. We're going to win this game on the road. Let's go. Aloha. That's my guy from Hawaii. Love you, dog. Always appreciate how you look out. I definitely feel like we're going to win this game, but this is going to be that icky, toughy game. This is going to be that, oh, man, like with the way Star said she was feeling Seattle. I'm sorry. I feel like the same way. And I don't think they're going to be maybe explosive on us, just running up and down the field on us. But you know what I mean by wonky? Like they just get them weird touchdowns or, and honestly, I'm not wishing on this, but I just feel like Dak is due for an interception, not having a high interception game. I just feel like he's due. You feel me? Everything's been going great and lovely. And you remember when we went to Buffalo and we were all hyped when we went to Buffalo and he threw 5 interceptions and we still won the game. He ain't going to throw no 5 interceptions. But I think, this might be a game where he might throw a pick early. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Dak threw a pick early. Uh-oh. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what – but I'm cool. Understand how I'm saying this, Star. You never want an interception. But I'm cool because I don't mind the adversity. I don't mind the adversity. If there's a lot of adversity in this game, I don't mind it, Star. That's what I'm saying. Because I feel like this is going to continue to build momentum for our team. We need, in my opinion, it's cool if we blow them out. I ain't mad at no blowout. But okay with another adversity, tough game because we're going to need those. It's prepping us for the playoffs. It's all about the playoffs.
Right.
And I think this is going to be a playoff type game because I feel like they're going to play like a playoff type team in this game.
For sure. And I think, in order to, and Dak very well may throw a pick. I know. And it may not be because he made the wrong decision. It could be bounced off hands.
Yeah, it just feels like that. Don't be mad at me, Trey. I said that. Don't be mad I said it. It just feels I could be wrong. Don't be mad at me. I just feel it.
But it's possible for sure. And I think like this is why you got to go into this game saying we're going to play balance. defense, because of the weather, because this is an unfamiliar or what you call an uncommon opponent. This is a game just like the Eagles game. You gotta play balanced. You can't allow this team to allow you to become one dimensional because again, they're built to take away the pass. They're built to take away the deep ball. So we have to go in here saying we're going to use our tandem often and early. We're going to use Tony. We're going to use Rico. We're going to do the end of rounds. We're going to do the screen game. We're going to do everything we can to try to limit mistakes. Doesn't mean that mistakes aren't going to happen, but that's what playoff football is, like defense and running the ball. So you definitely are going to have to do that because you don't want to put yourself in a position where now you've turned the ball over so much. And the Bills, that's why it's my other point saying this needs to be a 1-0 turnover game because I think the Bills are like the best in the league. They turn turnovers into points. 100%. So this is not a game where you want to be turning the ball over multiple times because that can definitely lead to a bad loss.
Yeah, for sure. Got another 199 holler from my guy Young Wilson, said 3.5, but I think Truth only said we're only at 1.5. Just said that we need to respect our team, Dallas. But y'all got to understand, man. They're looking at the odds. You're in Buffalo. Y'all got to understand where they're playing at and the time they're playing and the record. This is desperation for Buffalo. They're going to be playing different. So they're going to look at those Vegas odds because the desperation of what Buffalo has to play. And they have a talented team. So you have to be able to look at that. But also, here's something else I just happened to see, Star, was that, red zone. Red zone, Buffalo is second in the league right now at 66.7 in the red zone. Dallas is 22nd at 58.8% in the red zone. So that is huge. When Buffalo gets in that red zone, they score touchdowns or they score. And we're going to have to keep them out of there. So that's what I was saying, that we're going to have to – defenses – this is going to have to be a game like we had in Philly defensively, in my opinion. We're going to have to play like that like we played against Philly.
Right.
We're going to have to smother them defensively. This is going to have to be that defensive game. If we played like this, it's like this the rest of the year, Star. For me, if the defense plays like we know it can, we blowing teams out. We whooping teams.
That's what I'm saying.
You feel me, Star?
If we show up, if the defense plays like we know they can,
we blowing teams out.
We're blowing teams out.
Right.
But if they're not good on their assignments, sometimes you got the Dorrance Armstrongs and the Fowlers crashing in, leaving open running lane, playing undisciplined. We get in penalties. Like this is why we're saying this is putting us to the real test to see how disciplined can you be? Can you continue to play at this high level in December going into the playoffs? Because that's going to be required. This is going to be a test too for our linebackers because the Bills, they are running the ball more with James Cook. James Cook is a hard, physical runner. He also, like I said, he's become a favorite target of Josh Allen. He will hit him on wheel routes and all that type of stuff. Like, so this is a game where you're going to have to cover James Cook out of the backfield. You're going to have to be able to come up the field, stop the run if we don't have Jonathan Hankins. Like, this is going to be a real test for the linebackers and the safeties. The linebackers and the safeties have to play on the level that they played last week in order for us to limit, right? Because I believe the D-line, they usually always do their job. It's usually the back end and the linebackers that can get kind of leaky.
Right.
I think the Bills, they're going to try to test our run game starting off the bat. Because, again, they know they switched their offensive coordinator. They know if we can get Josh around that, let's just have him pass 25 to 30 times max. That's where they want to have him play in. They want to have him play in those amount of pass attempts. So they will run the ball with James Cook, and they will run the ball with Josh Allen. So the defense has to play discipline so that we can live in our world where we're not defending the run all freaking day and we can be getting off the ball by rushing Josh Allen over and over again. Right. So that's going to really be the test we're going to see how this game is going to go.
Yeah, definitely. Because no, we haven't had a 100-yard rusher against us all year. The closest one was James Conner, I believe, when he had 14 carries for like 98 yards. But I believe that game was, number one, I just feel like they was let down by Trevin Diggs. I feel
Yeah.
like they were mentally let down that
Oh, yeah.
game, and they just played a safe game. They thought they could come in there safely, and they
And
played it safe. And you found they understand you
yeah,
can't play it safe in the NFL. You're going to get smacked no matter
right.
who you play, and I
Right.
think that's what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in this game, defensively, like you said, you got to have big D-Law, Micah Parsons, and also, you're going to probably be missing Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah.
That's going to be huge, right?
That's good.
You're
Yeah,
going to
that's
be
gonna be a
seeing
loss.
Mozzie.
Mhm.
I've been looking. I haven't been paying attention. I'm gonna keep it real, Star. They're
Mhm.
talking about. Do we have Carl Davis?
We have Carl Davis on the practice squad. We're likely going to elevate him
Okay.
for this game because Mike said
Okay.
that it's going to be hard pressed for Jonathan Hankins to play. So I
Right.
believe Jonathan Hankins going to be out for probably the next 2 weeks. So yeah, they're likely going to call up Carl Davis. But even with that, Carl Davis is not Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So that's what I'm saying. It's going
Mozzie, come on.
Mozzie
We
and
need
like
you.
I said, they have to Neville too. They'll use them to
Neville,
take
yeah.
up those double teams, but it's gonna be on the
Osa,
linebackers.
yeah.
And Osa is gonna be on the linebackers so to fill those
Yeah.
gaps. Y'all gonna have to come
Damone
up and
Clark.
fill those gaps.
Damone Clark's got to have a big game to me.
Yep.
He's got like 83 tackles, and I said he was a 100 tackle guy star.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying he's had a bad year. But I need one of those impactful games, Damone
Right.
Clark. I'm bouncing off you, Star, with the linebackers. I need an impactful Damone Clark game.
It's gonna be a big game for them.
Blowing up in the backfield, Damone Clark.
Yeah.
We know Marquise Bell be getting that back there, but I need a 12, 13 tackle game from Damone Clark and let them be big, effective tackles.
Right.
That's what I need. That's who I'm putting the player spotlight. Since I'm already talking about it on the defense, that's who my player spotlight is. Damone Clark, I need a big, impactful game from you. Who's your person on defense, Star?
I'm with you. I'm going with Marquise Bell and Damone Clark. They're gonna have a big game. Y'all remember last year when we played the Jaguars, and a big reason why we lost that game was because the linebackers was confused. They were just doing misdirection and all this stuff. And since the Bills switched the offensive coordinator, they've been doing more motion and all this stuff. So this is gonna be he targets those tight ends and that running back. So it's going to be a big game for the safeties as well as the linebackers. They're going to have to cover this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just stopping the run. They got to cover. So it's going to be a big game for our young linebacking core. They're really going to be put to the test because they're pretty much the weakest spot, you would say, on the defense. They're the only group two that doesn't have any veteran leadership anymore because Leighton is out. So it's a lot going to be a lot on them, and they've been doing a good job. They've been getting better, I feel like, every week. But this is really going to.
We need a big, impactful game from
right.
both
We need a game from them. We need to really see them flashing on the screen. If we're really going to win this game, that's how I feel. So
definitely need them, and we're going to need our safeties to shut down the Kincaids and Knox of the world.
Mm-hmm. They're gonna have to because Kincaid is a big target. He's become a big target,
and Josh Allen likes him.
Yep, and the probably reason why they're so dominant in the red zone is because they have those two big tight ends.
Exactly,
and those two big tight ends are pretty hard to cover. So it's gonna be a big game for our safeties as well, covering. And they've had problems with that. So I don't know if Dan Quinn, you want to maybe use Wanye Thomas or someone, because if you're expecting J-Ron and Dono to sit here and cover these guys,
because they're not the best in coverage, and physical run game, we love them. Pass game, not the greatest, they can be exposed. So they're gonna have to make sure they're on top of that. And like you said, Dan Quinn, is going to have to mix and match it to where
this will be a good game, mix and match. We want to maybe let Izzy play because I don't want to see Jordan Lewis on Dalton Kincaid or their other tight end. That's a classic mismatch, just like it was between him and Dallas Goedert. Like, you need big, tall, fast guys on these guys, because if you don't, Josh Allen's going to pick you apart with these guys. He's got chemistry with these guys. And if he's all the way locked in, you're asking for disasters to occur. And this is a big tackling game as well. That's another reason why the linebackers and the safeties got set up, because you got to tackle. Everybody's got to get to the ball and tackle, especially with Josh Allen. I don't think you can just try to fly in and hit Josh Allen like you did Jalen Hurts, because Josh Allen is a different specimen. I mean, this guy's 6'5", like what, 230, 240 pounds. I mean, he's huge and he carries guys with him. So this is a game where you're going to have, if he's running team effort tackling, because bodies just bounce off of him. If you expecting Dono to hit Josh Allen, he's going to get himself hurt. He's going to get himself hurt trying to hit Josh Allen. It's like, that's just the reality of it.
Yeah, for sure. And shout out to my guy, Young Wills. He said, not to be rude, he said, let's talk about what our offense is going to do to that defense, please. Their defense is not that good due to injuries. Now, I hear what you're saying, young man. I just told you now, they only giving up 14 points a game at home, and they're more stout at home because that crowd gets them going, and they're a lot more stout at home. Now, I know they've had some injuries, but give me, before we get ready to close out of here, Star, what is who is some key players? We kind of mentioned them. Who are your key players that we need to attack their defense to kind of get it rolling?
You always want to get CeeDee Lamb rolling. And whether it's at the backfield, a quick screen, whatever you can do, get CeeDee Lamb rolling, because those corners, I'm sorry, but Rasul Douglas is no match to CeeDee Lamb. Now, Rasul Douglas is good. He's good.
Yeah, he struggled against CeeDee even when he was over there with Philly.
He's no match. He's no match for CeeDee Lamb. So you want to get CeeDee Lamb going. Then you want to get your enforcer on offense, who's Jake Ferguson. Then you want to get him going, because you want him to really put his weight on those linebackers, really put his weight and physicality on those safeties. Because I think Jordan Poyer is going to be, Micah Hyde's going to be out. So he's going against these backup safeties and stuff like that. So you really want to get the physicality going. And then I think everybody else flows off of that. You know, once they have the attention to CeeDee Lamb, Jake Ferguson, then that's when we, do a run, right, and get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Like, that's the type of game we got to play. This is a game that's screaming you need to play balanced. Because if the Bills can get you into one-dimensional land, then that's what can really cause an issue.
Yeah, and I feel like still attacking the air. We're a pass-first team, still attack them from the air. I don't want them to feel like we got to just run. It depends on the elements, too. If the elements is good where we can throw the ball, then let's attack in the air. But if it's one of those nasty games, then, hey, Rico Dowdell, Tony Pollard, those are going to be highlighted games for me. For the offensive side, KaVontae Turpin, I feel like this got to be a kind of game for him. Get him involved in some kind of way, whether it's passing, end around, something. We need somebody to kind of loosen up that defense, and I think he can be the key to the game. And also, I'm going to just say this before we get off the offense and we get our score predictions. Jake Ferguson has given this. Now, CeeDee Lamb already had an attitude, right? We knew that. Right. He had a cockiness. But Jake Ferguson is giving our offense a attitude, okay?
Right. He's our enforcer on offense.
He's our enforcer. He's giving us an attitude. Right. So I want to always see him get it early, because when he starts getting that attitude in there and getting them guys' faces and talking trash and, hey, when he did that fake, I got on my Twitter where he faked like he caught the ball on the dude and then point, dog, that shit was, excuse my language, was funny as hell. Like, that shit. Funny. He's a clown. Jake Ferguson's a clown, because on sounds of the sideline, he is always and one of my guys, we was talking, him and Hendershot are the blackest, whitest dudes on that squad, dog. Like, you see them, when I first see both of them, I'm like, y'all been around black people. I don't care. Nobody told me.
Absolutely. That's exactly how they are. I remember what they said. That was a hilarious sound to the side. That was last year when we played the Chargers, and they say, "Hey man, it smells like trees in here." They're like, this whole stadium just covered in trees. Like, they're funny, but I really think Jake Ferguson and them, like, he's definitely our enforcer. You can just tell he gets the team fired up. Like
We feed off of that with him. We waiting for it.
Exactly. He makes all of our offense, excuse my language, with a little bit of an asshole. And I like
Hell
that.
yeah, we want that. Yes.
You got Dak being an asshole. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got them pointing and laughing. You got all of this stuff. And I feel like that's what we need because they know
we ain't had that.
We haven't had that. And when you know these teams can't hang with you, you got to have that type of confidence. But this is a game where the team who's going to win is the team who makes the least mistakes.
Yes.
So players got to be locked in. We need balls to be catched, routes to be run right. Everybody doing the dirty work as we've been doing. Shout out to the wide receivers because they've been blocking their asses off.
Yeah, I seen you mention that on your
Twitter. Yeah,
Twitter.
they've been blocking their butts off. So, this is definitely a game where we need to go to their house and we need to make them feel us and show them
the world.
Yeah, we need to show them who we are because the last time we played them, they flat out embarrassed us.
They sure did.
They embarrassed us. So,
yeah,
hopefully they keep that in mind.
Yeah, and like you said, definitely want to remember that because we jumped on them early 7-0. From there, they just kind of whooped us, and really, this is a game where you want to see Dak do good because that was a terrible Dak game, real bad. I mean, he looked bad in that game, so we love to see Dak to have a bounce back, especially. And he's never beat Buffalo. That's one of the
only he's never beat Buffalo.
He's never beat Buffalo, so it's all set up for you, Dak. You're on an MVP campaign. We on the gauntlet of teams. You ain't never beat them. You played terrible the last time, so it's all set up for you to shine. It's all set up for you to shine. It's all set up for you to shine, dog. So go ahead and take it, and let's get this dub. So as we get ready to close right here, Star, give me your Star prediction, and then let them know. Obviously, if you don't see her on the channels right now, she's already got her channels on right now, so you could be in the channel. But make sure and let them know as you kind of give us our score prediction, how it's going to go. Where they can find you as well.
Okay, so I think for my score prediction, I'm gonna say
it's a weird one, Scott.
It is a weird one. I'm gonna say 21-34. 21-34. They're gonna put up some points, but I think our offense, we can get it rolling. We will be too much for that defense to overcome if we play a clean game. So I'm gonna go 21-34.
Okay. And for mine, before you say that, I'm going 24-20. I feel like it's going to be one of them close. Okay. I think it's going to be one of them nasty close games.
Okay.
Bill's going to be all hyped and geeked up over there. I just feel like they're going to be geeked up, like Gucci Man, girly geeked up. Bitch, might be. They're gonna be geeked up like that, Star. They just feel like
they are. Turn all the way up every time we play a team. Like,
man, they're gonna be geeked up over there. And
they're gonna be turned up. They're gonna be turned up.
They're gonna be turned. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're gonna be trying to play out their mind. They get one touchdown, they're gonna be smelling it. It's just, but 24-20, our guy Aubrey gonna have him a big field goal in this game. And I just feel like defense is going to come up with some big plays, and maybe Deron Bland gets a game-ending interception. One of those things where they're trying to drive down the field and we'll score, and we knock them out the game with a big interception or turnover. I feel like that's how it's going to go. But another great show. Really appreciate you jumping on. Glad we are back on after a few weeks and the hiatus. Great time to get back on because, like I said, these AFC games are always weird. They're the weirdest games for me. I don't know why. AFC games are always weird. But let them know where they can find you, Star, from all your links, all your stuff. Let them know what they can do.
Yep, you guys can find me on YouTube, Stargazer Sports. You can find me on Facebook, which is Stargazer Sports Media. You can find me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports. Find me on TikTok at Stargazer.sports, and then you can find me on Twitter, which is my most popular platform, which I pretty much talk on there every day, is the Stargazer. but instead of an E in Gazer, it's a 3, and then it's 2 R's at the end.
There it is. And make sure you check out this show every single Thursday. We'll be
Yep.
here at 7 p.m. I was a little messed up at our times messed up. I'm sending the links like, what's up, Star? You all right? Everything good? She like, this ain't the time we're supposed to go on. We're supposed to go on at this time. I'm like, oh damn, I forgot.
It's okay. It's been a while,
So hey, it was great seeing you again. Super excited that you got to go to your first game, and what a game you got to go to. That was exciting. And hopefully you'll get to go many more, and hopefully we'll be able to see each other at a game, because I know I'm gonna be returning to the game soon as well.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna stay on here because I got a couple things that I gotta speak on as far as my GoFundMe. But I definitely appreciate you. I'm sure we'll be seeing our tweets and liking our tweets during the game. We're talking crazy during the game. But salutes to you. Make sure you go check out Star. She's doing her thing, and let them know your show too that you have with Craven Cowboys.
Yeah, y'all can find me and my girl Mickey, aka Craven Cowboys. We do a show every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, called Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball. So y'all can tune into that as well. Thank y'all thank you to everybody in the chat tonight. Yeah, I'll see y'all next week.
All right,
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Star, and I'll be talking to you soon. You have a great night.
All right, let's see ya.
All right, so I wanted to, just before we got out of here, my boo thing, you see the link that she has in here. I wanted to let everybody know about the link before we get off of here. My stepdaughter, her daughter, Natalia Weston, we call her Natty, was trying to go to a trip go to Italy and Greece, basically going abroad, going overseas. I've lived overseas multiple times when I was young. It's an experience of a lifetime being able to live overseas, especially when you're young, because most people don't get to do that. And I was fortunate to live a lot of places overseas. But she has a trip to Italy or Greece, and we really want to get her there. So if you look at the link right now, she's showing it to you right now. You can click the link right there. I think my boo thing, she just showed it, and it's been going through there. Whatever you can donate. We started about maybe a month ago now, and it's picking up steam. Natty's an honor roll student. We just did her grade. She has a 3.7 right now. Pretty much stays a 3.5 and higher. In the band, like I said, wants to do student council. On the track team, getting ready to do track. Just got awarded a scholarship where she's headed to Philadelphia next year to check out the history of Philadelphia. Got awarded a full scholarship for writing basically a report on why should you go to Philly, and she won a full scholarship on that. So very, very talented young lady. We want to see her do great things, and we want to continue to elevate the youth, and when they have opportunities to go and do things that you probably would never thought they could do, we want to help that happen. So go check out the link. It's in the description right there. My boo things put it up there. All you got to do is click the GoFundMe, and as I said, no set donation, just whatever you like to do, so we can help get her to a once in a lifetime trip happening next year. It's $6,000 for the trip, so it's not cheap by any means, but those type of things are priceless. So we hopefully that you can do that. Appreciate you, Young. We'll go ahead and just put that up right now. Shout out to you, Young. Number one, shout out to all the donations that you gave today. Shout out to all your faithfulness over there in Hawaii. But right there, appreciate you. $100 holla. Hey ho, $100 holla. We like seeing that. And once again, it's for the kids, man. We're trying to do great things for the kids. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and leave it again and end it with our song that we like to end it with. Usually we do it once, but hell, why can't we do it more than once? So how about them Cowboys? Y'all know what it is. It's all about them Cowboys. Big game coming up Sunday. You got my score prediction 24-20. Cowboys are going to win it. I think it's just going to be one of those weird, ugly games. I I hate to feel that way, but I just feel like it's going to be one of those weird games. But the Cowboys going to rise above and be able to take the game. But will be a little tough little game. But appreciate everybody who was in the feed. Good to see you again, Trey. Like I said, I didn't know what other name you were under, so it's good to see you again. Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Shout out to everybody that was in the building. Please like, share, subscribe. We're almost at 15K. We're right around the corner with it. Like to get it. I'm not being a numbers guy, but still always good to hit it if you can. So go support. Hit the GoFundMe if you like. Let's get that dub this Sunday. 11-3. That's where we want to be. Headed to Miami right on Christmas Eve. So shout out to everybody. Talk to you soon. And y'all know what it is. How about them Cowboys, baby?
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah! How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, PTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a bank and snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Cowboys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the, goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Cowboys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the, goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Cowboys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again.